Okay. Okay. In the networking team, these are the things they can make use of. List, let me tell you, the meaning of list means to see. Read means you can use it. It's not difficult. It's a simple thing. Like read means you can use it. Write means you have the capacity to delete. Are you getting me? And create. So, but you can decide to allow somebody to create and not delete. Means you can decide to give person permission to delete but not create. You understand me? That's why you see here they are giving a specific permissions. Then the EC2 IAM, I'll tell you the meaning of EC2. EC2 means server, but I will explain to you what the meaning, the real meaning of EC2 when we replying to your call, please. Okay. So now let's go straight to our class for today. Let me just continue this. Let's just finish this class. So this network is trying to destabilize our class today, but I will not allow we will not allow it. So now let's go. We have created a network admin. So the network admin we created, you can decide to create another group inside this network admin. Meaning, if you are in this network admin, you can create a group for people in the network department. You understand me? But as a network admin, your policy is restricted. You understand me? You have restriction. Even you as the admin of the network, you are also restricted. You understand me? That is the first thing. Hope you understand that. You understand that? What I mean by even as admin, are you still following? Are you still following the class?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are still with you.
Okay. So as a network admin, okay, let me not use network admin now. Let me bring it back home. This class training for the enthusiast, is a group Abi. And in this group, I can create an admin for this group. And I will call that admin network training for enthusiast 1. I will say, okay, in our training, I want this person to have resources. They have power over these resources, not all resources. You understand me? You understand what I'm trying to say? So I will not create from my AWS. I can say, okay, this is our AWS, our account now. Let me allow it for only you to use. You understand me? So you will be restricted. Despite I can say, okay, let me give the privilege to Mr. Taiwo, our first of Mr. Taiwo Fagbamile. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it very well. To be the class captain. You understand me? So as a class captain, I was okay. You being the class captain, be the admin of this group. But in this admin, I will restrict what you can use. With the kind of resources you can create for anybody. You understand me? The kind of right you can give to anybody. So you will not create a group called Cloud Admin. Okay, the person that will be sharing the screen, you can say, don't allow this person to share screen. Allow this person to talk. Allow this person to do video. Don't allow this person to, you understand me? That process of giving the right of somebody to make use of resources is called read. Okay, allow this person to create a video and to delete a video file. That is a right permission. You understand me? Allow this person to give rights for this person to use video. I can say, okay, so when I come to the group now, I say, okay, admin, please, can you give Emeka the right to make video? You quickly go and do it. But can I say, because I did not give you the right to make audio, it's not in your department. If I tell you, admin, can you tell Olaiton, Emmanuel to make video? You say, sir, I don't have the right to. My resources does not have the permission. He will need the super admin. You will not, okay, I said, don't worry. You will not write. You will not be the one to write. Are you getting me? You will not write. You will not write to the admin, then I will not approve it. I will not sign it because, I have the right to order you. I will not sign it. You will not, that person that not give that right will not allocate that resources to you, so that you will not have the capacity to give that resources to people. You understand me? It's just for we to check. We call it check balancing, so that when things go wrong, we will know who to who. So that is it. So you create the admin group, then you now create another 5 group. You can create extra 5 group, then you allocate. So you know what we'll do? I would like to still keep this class open, this assignment open. Let's go to today's class. After today's class, this assignment will become very easy for all of us, because some of us did not know the kind of resources that a department will need, Abby. So it was difficult for you to give the right, and you get me. Some of us that know, they don't know where these resources are, Abby. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this is that's where our class is based on today. So today we are going to introduce basically all the department of AWS. You see, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So that is our class today. That was why I'm really, I wanted everybody to be in class today.
Sorry, quick one. A quick one, please. I don't mean to draw us back, but I just want to ask a quick one.
Okay, go ahead.
So the resources, like for instance, the network admin you just used as an example, it is all the resources are pre-configured or pre-written or something in the AWS, right?
Okay, let me explain that. You know, AWS is trying to make work easy for all of us. Yeah. So they already envisaged that there will be a network group. So they automatically created what they think the network group we need.
Okay.
So it's not like it's a must. You must use those resources. You have the right to tell your admin to increase the resources of that department.
Okay.
And you can also edit that network group and remove some rights and add some rights.
I'm very clear about it now.
So they just want you to, they don't want you to stress you. They just, we call it default using. It's for the amateur. You understand me? But if you are coming as an admin person, as a matter of fact, as an admin person, you will not be coming to console. You'll be using CLI. We're going to talk about how to use CLI because they expect you to be a Ninos person. So admin use Ninos. But if you understand this one very well, it'll be easy for you to know the CLI. You understand me?
Yeah.
So that is it. I know some people just left. One person just left the group when I was showing that code. They're like, hey, this will want to go into coding now. Coding is not coding. There's nothing code. It's not hard. Okay, now let's go into AWS resources. So AWS, they are very organized. AWS means Amazon Web Service. It's owned by Amazon. We already know Amazon.com. The man that started selling book, later going to electronics. Now it's into cloud computing. They are making use of their customer base because they have a very solid customer base and they know how to relate with customers very well. You understand? So that's the advantage they are using for this cloud computing that is putting them ahead. You see what I'm talking about? Migration. You don't just close your business because you are, imagine it's somebody selling book, is now selling IT resources. You see, but that sales that he has is what he's bringing to cloud. That is why they are selling faster. It's not that they have the highest infrastructure in the world. Azure have the infrastructure in the world. I'm not saying they are better than Azure because I don't know where this video is going to. You understand me? What I'm saying is that for the ranking as of now, they are the top. They won it more than 4 consecutively. You understand me? And I think they will still win it next year because they can sell. Because why? You cannot compete with them when it comes to sales. But in terms of IT knowledge and wizard and understanding, you know, Microsoft has the highest, you know. We all know that Microsoft does start. But in terms of sales, Azure, AWS can sell very well. So everybody is making use of their strength for cloud. So you that is also learning cloud, don't throw away your background. Bring your background to cloud. You understand me? So now let's move. So we started with this. We started with we started from here, identity, security and identity compliance. And we started with IAM because everything about cloud it always start with security. You understand me? So we have what we call resource. We are going to be clicking it. We are not going to be talking like we are familiar with IAM now, B. Most of us are familiar with IAM. Mr. Tao, hope you are following.
Yes, I am following.
Okay. Mr. The other Tao, our class captain. Hope you are following, sir. Hello? Mr. Taiwo Fagba. We have two Taiwo in this group, Abi. Okay. I believe he's following. I don't think he's online now. Okay, I think maybe.
Do you mean Olaiton?
Yes, Olai. Okay, Olaiton. Sorry.
Oh, not say.
Sorry.
I'm not
Sorry, Mr. Olaiton. Hope you are following.
Yes.
Okay. So now we already talked about IAM, so I won't bother myself talk about going down. We've stretched it to the end. So now let's go to the next resources. The next under, we'll call it resource access management. Let's click it. Let's see what it has. There we are not going to be spending much time. We're just going to be talking it one after. We'll just be going to it one after the other. Okay. So this resource management, it says manages resource central in multi-account environment. So do we understand what that means? Okay, what it means is that this is the part where you manage. For example, you can have more than one AWS account. Are you getting me? You can also have multi-AZ. You know, about multi-AZ. We talked about, multi-AZ now, that is availability zone. I talked about availability zone now. We explained what availability zone is. Huh?
Yes.
Beautiful. So availability zone is like a small part in a region, in availability in a region. We have a region, we have availability zone, we have a subdomain. Are you getting me? So a region means the one covering in Africa. Now we have one in South Africa, then we have AZ, we have 3. All the data center in South Africa, they brought them together. Are you getting me? They group them together and call it AZ1, AZ2. In that AZ1, AZ2, there are other data centers inside. You understand me? So that will call it a domain. So that is it. So let's go. Let me also tell you one thing. Let me not really waste our time. Let me just go straight and tell you this. This is something you should know. Please, if you can forget anything, don't forget what I want to say. In every AWS resources or resources that you have here, mostly the first one talks about the granular part. Okay, let me put, for example, how many of us did how many engineers do we have here? How many of us did further maths in school? Please, I would like to know how many further maths specialists we have here. How many of us did further maths in school? Okay, how many of us did Pythagoras theory? Hello?
Yes.
You did Pythagoras theory now. Almighty formula. We all know almighty formula, B. How to derive almighty formula, B. Okay. You know, if you are using almighty formula, you know it has already been derived. You know what I mean by derived, meaning it has already been. You don't know how they got there. Your own is just to use that formula and apply it. Abi?
Yes.
Beautiful. That formula that is already derived is called PaaS, Platform as a Service, which means you don't know how they derived it. You don't know. So, you know, when we started using that almighty formula in school, we don't know how they derive it. Abi, minus B plus minus. Can somebody tell me root A square or something like that? God. I don't forget almighty formula. Oh, God. Can you still remember 2 all over A square, something like that, Abi? Hush. Can somebody, those of us that still have very sharp brain, remind me, please.
think it's I don't know if I'll be correct. I think it's
hypotenuse squared.
minus b. Okay.
Hypotenuse equals to square root of adjacent squared minus opposite squared.
All over 2a.
No, that's
I think it's always all over a or something.
It's all over something.
Oh no. You are talking about the
almighty formula. We call it almighty formula.
quadratic almighty formula.
Yes.
You are talking about theorem now.
Minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4 is
beautiful.
Yes. Minus b plus or minus square root of 4. Yes.
You are mixing two things together.
Okay. Now is almighty formula for quadratic equation. That's we call it quadratic equation. Abi, beautiful. Now, most of us that did partial fraction, we know how those those formula usually came to pass. You understand me? If you did partial fraction very well, but partial fraction is like you knowing how a came, how b came, how the square root became square. You understand me? But if you are using that formula, that formula, you just pick it and you just use it. You don't know how they derived it. You understand me? So I want you to take that mentality. In cloud, that's what they always do. They'll do two things. The first one will be they will create what gave birth to others. They'll put it first. Are you getting me? Then they will now put the remaining one under. For example, let's use now. Let's start with this IAM. You see, this IAM talks about the resources in everything, Abi. How to create resources, how to allocate read, write permission. Then this resource access management is also part of IAM, just that this one is already organized in a way that you can just, okay, I want to manage all my resources. I want to put them in one place. Okay, I have 2 AWS accounts. I want to manage my AWS account in a very way. Okay, I have my resources in AZ1, AZ2. I want to make use of it. You understand me? That is where you come to here. Then this cognito, cognito now, you are trying to hide, you're trying to shield yourself from, it's also about access. Are you getting me? But all these things, they are all platform as a service. You understand me? They are still, if you look at it very well, this cognito is also talking about IAM. It's just that this one is focusing on one particular angle. For example, we talked about add single sign-on and sign up and sign in. What does this mean? It means that, for example, I can create, let's say I created with AWS, I've created a server. After creating the server, then I want somebody to log into that server without knowing how it was created. Okay, let's, for example, now, okay, we all use Facebook now, Abi. You use Facebook now, Shay?
Yes.
Do you know how Facebook was deployed? We don't know how it's, you understand me? But the person that created Facebook must call you and say, okay, Mr. Taiwo or Mr. Olaiton, I want you to help me to monitor the activities of Facebook, how people enter, how it goes, how the servers are going. So I don't want you to go through the back and understand how the server were created, but I just want you to just focus on the monitoring aspect. They will just sign you in and give you the credentials, how to sign in. So your own is just to sign in and watch. You are not using the root user. You are not coming through IAM. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So you are not coming through anything. You are not joining any group. In fact, they don't need you to join any group because they don't expect you to make use of anything. Your own is just to see and monitor. We call it single sign in, sign up, and single sign in. So we're going to talk about that, how to use that. That is also part of it's also part of the AWS we're talking about. Now let's go fast. I lead you. So on your own, you are going to come here and learn. Okay, for example, now if you are in admin department, you know all this is I'm saying. If you are admin department, you are into security. You know what I'm saying now. This part is your own. You understand? Admin, security, HR. This is your role. This department, this resources here is your own work. Secret managers, how to manage your secret key. You understand me? This is where how to retrieve your key, your throughout life cycle. You know, like, okay, I want this key to be 5 years, 10 years. This way you manage it. Then your guard duty is also talking about how to inspect. These ones are, they are already, and they are like almighty formula. They already designed it. It's an application that you just use. You understand me? The IAM is how to create those things, but this one is about something you just use. Like, for example, now the intelligent threat protection from your account and workload. So this one is already, they already organized it for you to use. So in case you want to protect your system from threats, from somebody coming to your account or hack into your account, are you getting me? You use this one to do it. So if you are creating a security group now, you will give this person, the security department, the right to use this, Abi?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So these are the things. These ones are just resources that they have already, the AWS have already designed it for you to just use. Like the inspector, like the Amazon Messi, like the AWS single sign-on, like what I just explained just now, like the certificate manager. This certificate manager talking about SSL. You know what I mean by single, what do you mean by singles, what do you mean by SSL? It means that application that you use to protect your website, so that when you are sending message out, somebody can only read the message that is coming about. The way the message is transferred from one point to the other, nobody knows. Most of us go to the internet and you see this lock here. You see the lock I'm clicking, this lock. Before you see a website, you see this lock.
Yes.
This lock, what is telling my browser is that this site is protected with an SSL key. SSL key. Are you getting me? So it's like it's called, I think, socket site lock, something like that. I'll explain.
I think it's a secure socket layer or something.
Yes, secure socket layer. Yes, SSL, secure socket layer. Yes. So this secure socket layer is protecting your server and your network from being, as in, is encrypting your file as it's transferring from one place to the other. It's encrypted. So unless the person that is accessing it will receive it. So any site that have this SSL certificate, when you put in your file, maybe your credit card to purchase in that site, nobody can access that your secret, your ATM code, because as you are putting it, the system will encrypt it. Are you getting me? It will encrypt, and with decrypt, we encrypt. Sometimes it's with 2 gig of encryption layer. That is 20064. You understand me? Some is 40024. You understand me? It depends on the kind of security you want to use. It's just to make sure that nobody have access to your site. Are you with me? Like, let me show you something now. I want to show you something. Remember I told you that we are into, I'm not doing this thing just because I want to play. Okay, you see what is happening now? I'm able to enter. You see this? Can you see what just showed on the screen? Yeah? It said this site is dangerous, is blocked. I have an internet security. Although this is a false alarm, but the reason why it gave a false alarm is because my SSL certificate is not compatible with this browser. Despite I have HTTPS, but not unlock LifeLock locked it because it's suspecting it to be fraud. Suspecting it to be, you understand me? But if your company, if your site does not have HTTPS, this S you see here signifies SSL. Are you getting me? This HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, this S here means encryption. Are you getting me? So if your site does not have encryption, don't worry, when we are talking about server, I think our next time we're going to be talking about server. We're going to be launching servers. We're going to be destroying servers. It's easy. It's not be something that we'll be doing, but I just want us to get here. So that part of This part will help you to secure your certificate. Now we have key management. Remember I talked about your keys, the key used in logging in into what is this? You want to log into your CLI. You don't want to log into console. You want to use your key. You know, key management system now. You don't want to log in through. This is a console. You want to log in via stuff. This is where you manage your key. You can also create your what we call the key pair. You understand me? You can create. It's just a key is like a secret code that is very long. Are you getting me? That nobody can really understand what it is. So if you know, like for example, we have a password. A password is just like maybe a string of line. A key is like 1,000 code, alphanumeric code together, but in a certain pattern. So it's difficult to guess. You can guess a password, Abi, but a key, you cannot guess 1,000 pattern. And the pattern is not like A, B, C, D. It's like A, hash, comma, question mark, dollar, pounds. You understand me? In 1,000 way, or maybe sometimes 500, sometimes 300 alphanumerical codes. So it's difficult for somebody to encrypt or for somebody to guess. You understand me? That is a key pair. I will explain that when we are doing. So I just want to introduce us to. So most things I'm explaining here is that for the security people, for those of us that are doing security, that's why I was saying that after the end of the class, I want to do a POC, meaning everybody is going to talk and do something in relation to stuff. This is the key pair, the cloud HM, directory service, WAF. Let me talk about little of WAS. It's called web app firewalls. You know what I mean? This one we use it very well. If we are going to be doing, you know, how many of us have heard of DDoS? That's denial of service attack. Some, you know, most times when we log into a website, you just log into a website, they will tell you this website has cookies. You say accept. You don't even know what you're accepting. So they are just copying your IP address. If that site is into it's into cyber fraud or cyber attack, one day they can, when you log into website, they will just channel all the IP address. Are you getting me? They will channel it to one server. Maybe the server will only accept 2,000 throughput. Imagine that server that accepts 2,000 throughput is receiving like 10,000 throughput. You know what happened to that server now? At that moment, either the server crashes or nobody will make use of that server. So they have denied the service of those people. So those of us that are going to security, we are going to be talking about DDoS, web as malware, the difference between malware, Trojan horse. You know, so I'm talking about ethical hacking. What's an hacking? All those things. So this is where we talk about it. This is where you talk about it. WAS and how to shield your system. Then AWS Firewall Manager, Artifact. Artifact means something that is already complete that you want to make use of. How to protect it. Security or detective, AWS audit. This one audit your account. How many resources you use? What did you use it for? You understand me? Signer and what firewalls. That's for this. Please take your time. There's a documentation on it in AWS. Take your time. I will send you some of the documentation so that you can read through. Then after this, what I always talk, I always come here, compute instance. I always take my time to talk about compute instance because every other thing here is important. But the most important, the most in terms of analysis, these are the two things we are going to do today. Maybe then we'll do some POC, then we'll just do some practical, then we'll round up today's class. Now let's talk about compute. I can take my time to do all these things. So those of us that are into machine learning, this is what you are going to be using. SageMaker, most of us that are into Sage, you know Sage now, statistics and accounting. This SageMaker, there are so many code guru, DevOps guru, you know, comprehend, all those things. Most of these things here, they are all PaaS, platform as a service, meaning they are application that you just make use of. But this first one is the granular aspect. Then Cost Explorer. If you want to know how, maybe somebody tell you he wants to deploy something to account, AWS account. This way you take your cost from here. So if you are into account department or sales, you know, you make use of these resources. Front-end web web developer, maybe you want to put your web app online, like the Zoom we are using now. They are making use of this AWS amplifier. This is where you use all these are the resources you use. Then ARO, then the application integration, then the customer care support. These are the resources you use for support. For the robotics, this is what you use. Then for the satellite, this is what you use. Then for the management and government, for example, now those of us that are also into security, you are also going to make use of this. Then AWS organization, what is the policy that binds AWS? There are some things you are not supposed to do. There are some legacy. There are some breach of contract when you do. This is where you learn about it. Then CloudWatch. This is where you learn how to manage, how to wash, analyze your files. Look at this CloudWatch. Just look like AI in all AWS. This CloudWatch look at all the things in AWS, and you can configure it to send you an alert if something is going on. You understand me? Especially on the resources that you have already used. It's like a washman. This is the cloud washman. This is the auto scaling. Maybe you are using one of the resources. You want it to increase. When the load increases, this way you come to configure it. CloudFormation. This is also a PaaS, platform as a service, meaning you can use it for anything. For those that are into DevOps, no, most times when you are using an application, they will wake up one morning and tell you that your application is out of date. You should update. Click on this. You click, automatically update. It's a pipeline. This is where you design your pipeline. CloudFormation. CloudTrail, the same thing. I think this CloudTrail also help you to track activities, APIs. You understand me? To know how is using it, who is not using it. Config, how to track resources, how to configure your resources, your inventory. This way you use it. Then OP. So all those things here, they are how to manage your resources. So if you are into management department, this is where you are going to use. You want to manage your AWS license manager. You know, there are some people that already have some license on-prem. There are some applications that are enterprise application. They already have a license. You can come here to attach your license and manage your license. You understand me? Chatbot. You know what's a chatbot now? Maybe you are not around. You want somebody to be attending to you. This way you launch your chatbot, your wizard, your compute optimizer, your grandfather. This grandfather is a watchman too. But this watchman, in particular one, is used to monitor application. Anyone that is down will alert you. We tell you the processor of this one is overused. This is grandfather. We're going to be talking about grandfather. Maybe some of us that are into DevOps, you see, they will say you must know how to use grandfather. Now, this is what they're talking about. You must know how to use the Prometheus. Prometheus is also an application that also helps you to monitor server, to take server and take the logs and send it to grandfather. This grandfather and Prometheus, they work together. Proton, the same thing. It's also happy to analyze and message infrastructure developers and say, okay, this application needs to be updated. This one needs to be not to be updated. Incident manager, this is for SRE, site reliability manager and engineers. It helps you to manage incident. What is an incident? Incident is when something happened that is not supposed to happen, that is making a system to automatically fail, partially or fully fail. When a system fails fully, it's called a disaster. But when it happens and it disrupts services in a way, it's called an incident. How to manage it. This is where you manage it. So this is how to manage. This is under management. Then compute. A compute is something that helps you to. A compute is that part of AWS that help you to process information. You know, anything that can add 1 + 1 together is called computing. Abi, that can tell you this thing is true or false. It's called computing. You understand me? You know all the single lines of computing now. True or false, either Boolean computing or regular computing or semantic computing. There's so many, or mathematics of stochastic. You understand me? This is where it is. So what's the compute instance? Like a processor, I mean, in your system. So this EC2 is like a virtual server. What I mean by virtual server, meaning it's a server. Please, in case this thing go off, I'm going to send you another one. Let me stop this. I will send you another one, then we'll continue with what we have. I'm saying another one so that we can just round up. This thing is very important. It's better I take my time because I don't know if I will have the time to go through it again. So let's just talk about now. EC2 is a virtual server. You talk about EC2. If you are talking about AWS, you must hear EC2. EC2 is like the backbone. It's like the server. So You know, when you are working in a company, they don't allow you to go close to server, because when the server goes down, you are in trouble. And